Log, March 24th, 2016. Hey, look, we're making history here, Steve. It's the first Captain's Log with multiple people.
Oh man, this is pretty historic. I wonder if Riker ever horned in on Picard's blogs.
I don't know. He certainly, enjoyed sitting in his chair when he wasn't around, but that was his prerogative because he was the acting captain at that, just like you, Steve.
Oh yeah, I am acting captain. This will be great. I'm gonna go back and edit all of your old logs with me instead. It'll be awesome.
So today, Steve and I are going to talk about the Lego Batman teaser. I didn't think we'd get a teaser this quickly. We had what was it the other day that came out about this movie? I'm not even remembering now.
Images about it, but they announced the trailer was coming out.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that. I was just like there was buzz about it again suddenly, and I was like, I can't wait for a trailer, and we already have one, so that's exciting. And it's super silly, and I'm glad that this early they're making it very clear what this is.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays into the Lego movie, because I know you have an interesting theory about the kid in that movie and how Batman relates to it, and I feel like this is confirming it a little bit. But
absolutely.
It might also be its own, I don't know, it looks really fun, and it looks like it's exactly in that same vein.
So if you've never heard me talk about this before, I think in the Lego movie, and some people don't agree with me on this, but it seems really clear to me that, of course...
The more we talk about it, the more I agree with you on it.
Of course, the conceit with that movie is that you have this kid that's playing with Legos, and he's kind of creating this world, and then there's a question, of course, as to how much life he kind of creates of these characters as it goes along once you get into their world, or once you get like Emmett coming out of their world into his, and he seems self-aware and has, so there's a whole kind of metaphysical thing going on there. But it seemed really clear to me, Steve, that Batman is characterized by a kid who doesn't know anything about Batman and who is just familiar with the superficial, really popular image of Batman, which is he could do anything because he's Batman, like Steve just did a 20-minute video on, and he's got a lot of gadgets, and he lives somewhere subterranean. And I say subterranean and not a Batcave because in the song that he has in the Lego movie, he says something about being in a basement as opposed to a Batcave, and so now we made it a Batcave. So I guess this kid maybe saw one movie or something, and now, but it's but I think it's kind of fun how it's a little bit of a commentary on just how much Batman's permeated through the culture, that even if you're not a fan of it, even if you've never seen anything Batman, you know something about it, and it's just freaking everywhere. And this seems to be kind of making fun of all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's making fun of the lifestyle you'd have to lead to be Batman, just the mundaneness of some of it, like him heating up the food Alfred left for him.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and when he was talking to his computer, I at first was like, oh, is this going to be a world without an Alfred? And then we have a mention of Alfred, because you got to ask those questions with a lot of this stuff, because again, it seems to be a Batman informed by a kid that knows nothing about Batman. So anything could be there, anything that doesn't belong could be there, it could be anything. But B, you also you got to remember that it's not actually a Batman world. It's the world of the Lego movie. So it's a direct sequel, or I guess more of a spin-off. To that. And it feels like those spin-offs of the really popular comic relief character in a movie that goes off and gets his own movie, and most of the time those aren't any good, but this is Batman, and there's this pre-established stuff that we can make fun of.
Yeah, it's also got a really good cast, so it's a legitimate production. It's not just a cash grab based on that movie. We got Ralph Fiennes as Alfred, we got Rosario Dawson as Batgirl.
I forgot Alfred had been cast. Yeah, Rosario, that's a coup, that's pretty cool.
Awesome, yeah. And it's also being produced by the guys that made the Lego movie, and I think one of the writers from that is writing this.
Yeah, and tonally it's really consistent.
Yeah, tonally, visually, it's all kind of there. I wonder if this does well, we get more of them. Imagine a Lego Ninja Turtles movie. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that could be, although, how much sillier do you get with Ninja Turtles? I mean, like, what exactly would that even be? Because what's fun about this is that Batman, and of course there's a lot of different versions of it. We've had Campy Batman before, but this is like the silly Batman that is pretending to be the dark and gritty Batman.
Yeah. And he's pretending to be a lot cooler than he might actually be, or even if the world justifies him being that cool, like almost 60s Batman, but to a ridiculous degree.
Yeah, and then you kind of got to ask the question, like, is he cool just because he's Batman and we've decided he's cool?
Which I think he kind of is. I feel like the movie's almost just making it seem like Batman's got to be the coolest guy on the planet because he's Batman.
Yeah.
Like, you look at that scale, he says he's home, and then the Batcave is just enormous, and it's all shaped like a bat. For no reason.
That's so much fun. The thing that was so great about the Lego Movie was that it was a tribute to imagination, and I'm expecting this to be exactly that, but through the lens of all of us kids that grew up with Batman, and that was a big thing that sparked a lot of our imaginations in getting into superheroes and science fiction and stuff in the first place. I'm really glad that we're getting this, Steve. I mean, obviously, it's not that surprising considering that they kind of sold the Lego Movie on Batman in the first place.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed that it wasn't just Lego Batman the movie. He's
not in very much of it at all after you watch the whole movie. He's like 15 minutes.
No, they did a really good job of balancing that and making him a supporting character. But with how relentlessly heavy and dark we seem to be, and Steve and I are going to see Batman vs Superman here in like 5 or 6 hours.
Something like that. Yeah.
So at the time of this recording, we've not seen that yet, but with as dark and relentless as it seems like they're going with that, it's so cool that Warner's is willing to offset it with a thing like this.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be really great to see these movies come out as companion pieces to their regular universe, because then I'd be more okay with getting really dark live-action movies if we can keep the silly Batman alive on the side. That's part of what was great about having Brave and the Bold on TV.
That's a good point. And it's also really fun that this is a different Batman from the more in-universe, but still comedic and kind of DC parody Lego Batman that we're getting in the direct-to-video movies and the video games. And
just visually, totally, the whole thing is a little bit different. It's like one step in between Lego Movie and those movies.
Yeah. Well, I would make the argument it's a lot different. I mean, when you play the Lego Dimensions game, in the first, 10 minutes, there's of the opening cutscenes. You probably haven't played that yet. There is a because that's an interdimensional crossover thing. They crossed the Lego Movie universe with the Lego DC universe, and those two characters meet and don't like each other and hit each other with batarangs repeatedly in the face. It's fantastic.
That's hilarious.
Yes, I mean they have set up with Lego Dimensions very much a multiverse for all of their properties, and the Lego Movie is one of them.
That's cool.
So it's very much a separate universe, and I think that's absolutely fantastic and hilarious, and they're thinking, and it's remarkably sophisticated for what it is.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, flashback, what was the Lego Movie, 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Flashback maybe 2012, 2013, when we first heard about a Lego Movie, and how dumb that idea was, and now how brilliant it is.
I'm going to have to do a rewind on it before Lego Batman comes out. I was really on the fence at first about, is it enough? Does it count as a superhero movie? Should I do it? And then, now that it's spawning this off, I'm going to do a rewind.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll have a lot to say. It's going to be a complicated rewind. That movie is legitimately a genius film.
It's wonderfully complex, but also so funny and so wonderfully
hilarious. One thing before we finish this up, but Will Arnett is awesome as Batman.
Yeah.
I would never have thought he'd be this good, but in the Lego Movie he's great, and here he's just as good.
Real quick, a couple of things specifically about the trailer itself. What did you think of putting all of the titles of every Batman movie Warner's had ever done? I was like, they're just owning it. They're like, and Batman, but then they get faster when they get to Batman and Robin, and What did you think of that?
I like that. I thought that was really funny. I didn't expect them to do all of the titles. I figured they just do Batman, Batman Returns, Batman vs. Superman, something like that. But no, it's all the Batman movies, and it makes it feel like it's that character justifying how awesome he is. Look at how many movies I've made.
That's a good point.
He's breaking the fourth wall and talking about how he made this entire thing. So he's just relishing his legacy.
Yeah, and he's like, it's a Batman movie, so you're gonna go see it, right? Because, everybody goes, it's obligatory, you have to, it's a Batman thing. And I just think it's hilarious the way they're owning that.
Yeah.
you gotta wonder what this is gonna be like at the box office. You gotta wonder how it's gonna perform.
Yeah, I guess it all just depends on how they market it, because if they do the same thing they did with the Lego movie, then I'm sure it's probably going to do pretty well, but just because it's Batman, I'm sure people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
Especially as a contrast to like Batman versus Superman that we know we probably can't take kids to, having this as on the side is really good.
This is so insanely unprecedented. We've got essentially 3 Batman movies in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because Suicide Squad is a Batman movie. And that's nuts. It's just that he's that popular. And I mean, like, I'm not going to complain. I love Batman. You know, you hope the stuff is good, and you hope that it doesn't prevent us from making other cool DC, superhero things. But that's also, did you notice all the suits?
Yes. All the suits in the background, all the Easter eggs there, that was pretty great.
He's got a Batman Beyond suit.
Yep.
And
which looks amazing in Lego form, by the way.
I'm expecting a bunch of references, right? Yeah. And again, that's what's so funny is that it's about the Batman culture of our world, because it is a Batman produced by what's supposed to basically be our world of people that buy Legos. So they can reference anything. I mean, they can go everywhere, and especially anything that's ever had a Lego form, with Batman stuff. And I'll be real surprised if there's not some 60s stuff.
Yeah, I'm probably sure there will be. And I mean, if you think about the Lego movie, no one called that twist at the end, right? Like, no one had any idea that was going to be a part of the movie, but it colors the whole thing. And it seems like, just with all the references and how upfront this movie is, it's thematically continuing that exact thing, and it doesn't need that twist. It could be its own meta-commentary without setting up itself as a meta-commentary. Because it's part of that film's universe.
Well, that's true, and like it doesn't have to go back and remind us of that. We don't need any live action. You don't have to do any of that, and it doesn't even have to be as poignant, or as much of a thinking film necessarily. But I'll be really impressed if somehow rather it is, because I could see it going there. Like, imagine.
I think it's got all the potential for it.
Imagine if that movie, Steve, is because imagine if it also we can still think of it as a Batman movie and talk about all the Batman stuff we usually talk about, but through this weird lens. But also imagine that movie where he's heating up like chicken or whatever.
Yeah, the lobster.
Or was it lobster? That's okay. Yeah. That's even better. Where he's heating that up in the microwave in the 20 minutes and everything, and he never takes his mask off, and his eyes are always glowing and all that. Imagine that movie, and it's like a Pixar thing somewhere, and you tear up.
Well, remember in Lego Movie, he did take his mask off once.
Oh, so did he?
There's a scene where he just shows up and he pretends to be Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He acts like Bruce Wayne is just a figment of someone's imagination, and Batman's the real guy.
Well, yeah, because he was even like, Bruce Wayne, who's that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so if he doesn't take his mask off, it'd be really interesting to trace that character arc where he just thinks he's so Batman that he doesn't realize the mask is not part of his face.
This is the last thing I'll say. This could have easily been one of those quick cash grab things, like you said, and I have a lot of. I really trust it because it wasn't that in the first place with the Lego Movie.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's got some of the same team members. Like I said before, it looks like legitimate production, so I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good.
Well, everybody, thanks as always for watching a Captain's Log, our dual odd Captain's Log, and we'll see you again soon. Steve and I will be back with you tomorrow talking about Batman vs. Superman, and then Spoilercast on Sunday. Steve, I'm going to go enjoy my alleged vacation. I'm on the channel a lot today, but I'm supposed to be
on vacation.
Yeah, we'll just keep pretending like I'm on break right now. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Baxi.
And this concludes today's Captains and Acting Captain's Log.